Hey everyone, I hope you're doing so well. I'm coming to you today with a requested tutorial from one of my lovely subscribers. She asked for a simple foundation routine for everyday makeup. I don't wear foundation every day. The most foundation I wear is just for these tutorials or for special occasions. So this tutorial contains a method of and foundations and products that I would use if I were to wear foundation every day. Please stay tuned for how to achieve this foundation look. All right, so let's get started. I first am going to prime my skin with Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Complexion Primer Potion, and this one is good for people with oily skin, so you don't take that much and you just dot it all over your face. And probably concentrate, if you have oily skin, concentrate on the oilier parts, and then you just rub it in. And I'm just going to use a dual fiber brush. This is what I also use to blend my foundation in. This one is by Sephora, and it's a mineral powder number 45 brush. The numbers with Sephora may have changed because they recently released new brushes. So this is a synthetic brush that won't absorb the product as much as a animal hair brush would. So just blend that onto the face. And once that's complete, you're ready for the next step, which is to do, especially for skin colors like mine, there is some color correcting that needs to be done. And with these sort of dark spots that are, it's hyperpigmentation or even scars, I've got some acne scarring, and orange concealer is the best to cancel out those dark spots. So I'm not going to touch my under eye, but I will be using the Makeup Forever 5 Camouflage Cream Palette, and I'm going to use the orange out of there and just with my finger dab onto the spots that are darker, that need color correction. Mostly my chin area, but I've got different spots around my face as well. Now I have 3 brushes that are definitely my favorites or standouts as far as applying concealer or blending concealer out is concerned. So those 3 are this small shading brush. It's a cream eyeshadow brush. It's a dual fiber. This is by Sephora, and it's the Pro number 28 brush. And then I also have this Airbrush Concealer number 87 brush. Again, the numbers may have changed. This is also a Sephora brush. You can see that this is larger and much more dense. And then my newest favorite, which I like for mostly for under the eyes, is the MAC Short Dual Fiber brush. And this is the number 130. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and use this brush and go in sort of stippling motions over the places where I applied the orange concealer. The reason I do this instead of wiping it is because in addition to my skin being oily, I do have dry patches where the skin is somewhat flaky. By rubbing the brush onto those spots, you will just risk lifting the dry skin. So you're probably better off just blending by using stippling motions. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I don't normally wear foundation on a daily basis. I'll just kind of use it as required, maybe more for special occasions. Mostly I use them for the YouTube videos. So if I were to be using foundation every day, I'd want one that's medium to light to medium coverage, because I want it to look more like a second skin. So for this, what I would use is the MAC Face and Body Foundation. This is nice in that it starts out as light coverage and you can build it up to medium the more that you add, or the more that you sort of rub the product into your skin, it becomes a little bit thicker. So what I do is I have this plastic, it's just part of a plastic container that I have. I use this sort of as a palette for my concealers and my foundations. I will not use that much foundation It's probably all that I'm going to use. And we'll just dot that all over my face with my finger. Now, one of your greatest tools are your fingers because they help, just with the heat, it just helps blend the foundation better into your skin. And that's what I usually use, but with this foundation, I prefer using a brush. And that's the same brush that I used to apply the primer. Again, because I have some dry flaky spots, I'm going to go ahead and use a stippling motion in applying this all over my face. And I'm just going to start with the middle. Now, what I like about this foundation is while it offers a light coverage, it still allows my skin to sort of shine through. So it really isn't like I'm wearing foundation. All you gotta do is kind of make sure you blend out the edges so that it doesn't look like you have any harsh lines where the foundation ends. So just blend it down your neck. I'm not adding any extra to the brush, but also around the hairline, just kind of blend it into the hairline and around the ears. I forgot to mention earlier the MAC Face and Body, the shade that I use is C7. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply concealer to the blemishes on my face just for a little bit of extra coverage. I use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC45, and I'll just, on my little pseudo palette here, put one pump, and that's all I'm going to use for all the spots on my face. And I will use a small brush for a little bit more precision. It's actually by Real Techniques, and if I could find it, I will show it to you. Just give me 1 second. All right, sorry, it's right here. It's an eyeliner brush by Real Techniques, but I find that I like it for more precision, more precise application of the concealer to dark spots. So I'm just gonna conceal all my little scars that are on my face. Now, using the same brush I used earlier to apply the orange concealer, I'm going to go ahead and blend this out just by using stippling motions, same as before. Now, as you see me concealing, you're going to see that I don't totally completely cancel out everything, and that's just to give more of a natural look. I'm not too bothered by my scars, because if my skin is so problematic, it would be more of a concern for me, but it's calmed down over the past little while, but it's all a matter of personal preference, I guess. I use higher coverage when it's more formal events, but for every day, I wouldn't cake on anything, because you just want it to look natural. Or I want it to look natural. Alright, with the concealer on the face complete, I'm going to go ahead and conceal around my eyes. Now, I've used this MAC Pro Longwear Concealer before in a previous video, just showing you how I put it on. I'll link to that in the description box below. I'm going to use the 130 brush and just use whatever product is on this container right now. To add a little bit more dimension to my face, what I'm going to do is go a shade lighter. I have Pro Longwear Concealer in NC42. I'll just put a tiny amount, because this pump is so, it's hard to measure how much you're putting out. So what I'm onto the product, because in this pump, the only thing with that Pro Longwear Concealer pump is that a lot comes out. So what I'll do is I'll just take a tiny amount and just mix the two concealers together to sort of go a little bit lighter underneath my eyes to create more of a highlighted effect. But I'm not going to add a lot. And just once I'm done that, I'm going to go ahead and conceal under my eyes and blend it downwards so as not to have a super harsh line underneath my eyes. And I'm going to bring this out across my cheekbone as well, kind of in a triangular motion. oh sorry, in a triangular shape. So I'll go across and then down. All right, with that part complete, I'm going to go ahead and set the foundations and concealers that I've just put on my face with the Makeup Forever Super Matte Loose Powder in the darkest shade. It's more of a translucent powder, so I don't think it really matters, but I'll just press the powder on my face. Okay, now that I have the powder on, I'm going to use a large fan brush. This is by Sephora as well, and it is the number 122 brush, and I'm just going to use this to dust the excess powder off my face. Alright, so now when you have all your foundation complete, you can stop there if you want, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you what it looks like when I add more dimension back into my face using a contour and highlight colors. But really you could stop here if it's for every day. A lot of people use cream color bases, but I don't, because my skin is already oily and I don't want to add to the oiliness and the shine by adding more of an oily color to it. So I do contouring with powders. So for today, the color that I'm going to use to contour is MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in Dark Deep. And I'm just going to use this dense brush. This is the number 109 brush by MAC. And basically all you want to do is kind of contour in a 3 shape on the side of your face. If you like, you could do the side of your nose. I don't do that, and I go across the forehead as well. So just show you here. So start at the top, probably at the top where your ear starts, where your ear starts at the top. Yeah. Okay, so, and just bring it down, but you want to also blend it out. You kind of want to go in a triangular shape as well. And a good guide to go for with this is bringing your, sucking your cheeks in and following that line, but you don't want to go all the way down. So just kind of, I've only focus on the back here just to make it look more natural. You bring that down. Alright, so once the light sort of contouring is done, I don't do too heavy of a contour. This one is a little bit more reddish. Mainly because summer is just ending and I thought it would look nice to have a little bit more of a tan type looking contour instead of like one that's just a deeper shade of my skin tone. My skin goes a little bit redder when I do get tan, and I didn't get tan much this summer, so thought I'd throw it in there. Anyways, so for the highlight, what I'll do is I like using the Hourglass Ambient lighting powders in Radiant Light. These powders are awesome because they're not very apparent when you put them on. So I'm just going to use a fluffy tapered brush and put this on the highest points of my cheekbones. Around the eyebrow area. Put a touch in the center of my forehead. Down the center of my nose. On the chin. And a little bit in the Cupid's bow. And the bottom of the lip. Just to give it that dewy look. And now, if you're going to be wearing this all day, you'll want to use some sort of a setting spray just to keep it in place, or keep a powder with you just to touch up in the middle of the day. The setting spray that I use for myself is the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. It comes in this white bottle and it's great. It's made by Skindinavia, so if you've got that, that's great. On my clients, I use Model in a Bottle, which is just as awesome. So I just put a couple of spritzes on my face. and then wait for it to dry before opening your eyes. And you're done. And if you've got unruly eyebrows like me, then you'll want to sort of brush them into place. What I do, I often get powder in them, so in order to clean them out, I just kind of I put a 99% alcohol spray in my spoolie brush, and then just clean the eyebrow hairs out with that, because I usually get powder or whatever in them because they're thick and crazy and catch anything that I put in my face. So, and I don't usually have to draw them in because they're thicker, but if you're the type that likes more defined brows, go ahead and do that now after the foundation is, and your foundation routine is complete. And then go on with the rest of your makeup for the day. Because this is truly just a foundation routine video, I'm not going to do any more. I'm just going to end it here. I truly hope you enjoyed. For the subscriber that requested this video, I really hope it helped. If you have any more requests or questions, please feel free to send them my way. And with that being said, have a fabulous day.